Do Hello, local Hack Day Share, and welcome to what is going to be a particularly fun session, definitely for me, and I imagine for you too. We are going to be rolling with Share Your Favorite Language. And as I imagine you may be familiar, programming languages can be wild and wonderful. And there is a whole bunch of different things that you can do with them and break with them and all kinds of fun. So what we're going to be doing as part of this session is going to be going through a whole bunch of languages that are weird, wacky, wonderful, maybe trying out a few ones that you'll throw in chat. It looks like y'all are already popping off. Hello, Adam. Hello, Nishant. Hello, everybody else. It is time for some fun. So, hello everybody, I'm John from MLH. I am the other John from MLH. I am going to be running through a whole bunch of fun stuff. As I say, there's going to be a whole bunch of things going on. So if you have any questions at all, anything that you might want an answer on, hey, I might not know, but I might well know somebody who will. Wallcode, yes, we are absolutely going to be going through Wallcode. We are also going to be going through Arnold C. We're going to be talking a little bit about Codegolf and the fun that can come with that, and talking about quines, the idea of Turing completeness. Holy C, we can definitely take a look at Holy C. This is kind of I've been pretty dang excited for this one for a while, because one of my favorite things is looking at just weird and wonderful isolangs. Isolangs is what a lot of people will call these types of funny programming languages. It stands for esoteric programming language, which usually means something that's a little bit unusual, wacky, off the wall, that type of thing. Which always tends to be a lot of fun. What's printing on the 3D printer? That is a good question, and I imagine probably something that's going to turn into a bit of a segment whenever I throw my streams up. Currently, I am printing some new filament stands. You can see just underneath, I have 3 filaments sitting on the shelf below. We're going to be adding another 2 of them, hopefully as soon as those stands are finished, so that we can do 5-color 3D printing. We're actually going to be touching on 3D printing a little bit in this segment, because I would actually quite like to talk about G-code at some point, which is the language that 3D printers talk, and indeed quite a lot of other CNC devices. 5 colors, yeah, 5 colors. I know, it's wild. Just you wait until we start getting into 9 colors, and then things are really going to hit the fan. So, all right, it is time. So let's start off by talking about isolangs. English is really funny because it sounds too proper for a coding language. Yeah. I mean, when I originally got told that we were gonna So I kind of picked this one out. I was like, hey, let's do share a unique language. And a whole bunch of people, when I immediately brought this up, were like, oh, we're going to be talking about like human languages. And I'm like, I am not, I ain't smart enough for that. Like my mother's a French teacher and I failed French. So I got nothing for you. But I have, in fact, a wide array of experience on actual programming languages. So let's start off with the basics, right? Because I imagine we will have people here from all across the spectrum of experience when it comes to hackathons and tech and all fun things in between. And I am going to give you a brief rundown, because I know a lot of people that will, just like me, I learned a lot of languages without really understanding how they worked. And a lot of the stuff that I did under the hood tended to be really janky, and I didn't quite have an idea of what I was doing. And then over a while, you kind of learn the gist of how everything fits together, and you get the idea of how it's all supposed to slot together. You understand what some of the more technical bits underneath it, And this is going to be a great time, I think, to dig into a bit more of that kind of underlying stuff of how these languages really work, right? So, no, I mean, English is a programming. Ooh. Okay. Tilde English. You will have to forgive me. I have a habit of going off on tangents. Oh boy. All right, y'all. We are absolutely getting round to that one. Tilde English is now on the list for a little later. But let's get back to what we were talking about a moment ago. Programming languages are formal languages comprising a general set of instructions. You're probably pretty familiar with this. Can I screen share? Yes, I will be screen sharing very shortly when we start getting into some of these languages, and I'll give you some examples. I'm not going to be giving you examples of some of the ones that I'll be giving you examples of all of them. I'm not going to be writing all of the examples because Lord knows if you're familiar with some esoteric programming languages, trying to write them is wild. I would not recommend trying to write some of these by hand unless you are really planning on having a fun day. So yeah, as a general rule, you have like programming languages as a thing, right, are like basically a way of writing a bunch of instructions in order to do a thing. So esoteric programming languages are usually things that are designed to make a point. That point could be like a challenge, some call it sort of elaborate joke, or you could be kind of talking about like language as an artistic expression. So before we jump right into this, in fact, I'm going to give you an immediate example of this. Let me... See, it's fun because in order to talk about ESO-langs, I have to talk about a language which I don't know whether I'm allowed to say the full name of because it's slightly naughty. And as a result of this, I am going to be referring to it as Brain F in order to avoid having the Twitch or YouTube gods playing fun games with us. So, this right here, this is an example of do ignore the numbers underneath. Brainfunk. Yes, that is an infinitely better way to refer to it. We will refer to it as Brainfunk, lest I slip up and have a Freudian moment. So yeah, Brainfunk, which I'm sure you will be able to find on the internet, is a language that is specifically designed basically to be completely wild when it comes to like writing it. It is referred to as a Turing tar pit. And that's a term that's used basically for a language that is Turing complete, which we will explain in a moment, but is practically unusable. It is a complete and utter nightmare. It's like a common way to do this is like try and reduce the number of available symbols, right? So like try writing hello world with only 8 characters. And Brainfunk is a great example of this. It is a really yeah, it's a time. It only has 8 commands. It is fully Turing complete. The 8 commands that it has are as follows, and we will find a lot of these kinds of commands quite common across ESO-langs, because this language should be a 50-point challenge. Yeah, I mean, okay, if you can write a piece of Brainfunk that prints John loves you, then I am sure I will be able to nab some form of bonus points for y'all, because good lore, if you can pull that off, I will be genuinely impressed. But yes, so we have 8 general commands in this particular language. Can you tell the overview of what we're going to discuss? It absolutely is a challenge. We are talking about esoteric programming languages or unique programming languages. Languages that might be fun, might be weird and wild, or might well be things that end up doing all kinds of horrible things that you didn't necessarily want, as these things tend to be. So in this case, we have a sort of increment, we have a decrement, we have an increment and decrement on the pointer itself, and then we have a couple of commands to do jumps and kind of pushing bytes in one way, bytes out the other. Generally, to give you a quick rundown of Turing completeness, the general overview of what makes something Turing complete is that it has some form of conditional, which means like a while or an if statement, or a conditional jump, like a goto. So you have to have like an if statement, and you have to have some way to read and write data. So you've got to be able to save something, you've got to be able to read it back. White space is most definitely on the list, don't you worry. That's the general baseline for Turing completeness. It seems pretty simple. In fact, in many ways, there are ways that you can make Turing completeness really like fancy, or you can make it really simple. For example, here is a project that you may well like to take a look at, where somebody has in fact implemented Turing completeness in the Intel Processors Memory Management Unit with a single instruction. That's wild, because what they've basically done there is taken the entire idea of being able to run basically any piece of code, and they have figured out how to do that with a single processor instruction, which I have never seen done before. It is an absolutely wild project. I'm sure that if you, for anyone who happens to have an interest in like CPU architectures and things, you will most likely have a way better idea of this than me. But I found this absolutely wild when I first found it, because good Lord, the idea of only ever having one instruction to be able to do something is mental to me. Like, even Brainfunk gives you 8. Like, there's a level, people, beyond which it just gets kind of wild. And I feel like that's kind of like that's the baseline. I refuse. If someone wants to come up with actually no, I take it back. I was about to say, if someone wants to come up with a language that has 0 instructions in it, but that would just be no code, which I'm pretty sure is also a GitHub thing. Yes. The best way to write code that's perfectly secure and is incredibly easy to add features to is just to write no code. Like, just, yeah, congratulations, you've already built your application. Like, there's nothing left to do here. Well, you want to scale it, you want to roll it out to the rest of the world. The rest of the world already has your application if it's nothing. It's so simple. All right then. So actually, that is a good point. I should say, for our functional language friends in here, those of you who like doing fun things in languages like Lisp or Haskell, my definition of Turing complete only works for imperative languages, which you probably, well, relatively speaking, you're usually talking about like object-oriented programming, right? For functional languages, that you need to implement 2 things which have wild and wonderful names. One of them is called lambda abstraction, which basically means that you can abstract functions over arguments, and the other is called reduction, which means that you get to apply functions to arguments. For the purposes of this, we're not going to be touching on that too much, because my brain does not do functional programming very well. It doesn't generally do functional anything very well. So the fact that we've made it this far is frankly an unmitigated success. So, isolangs. Brainfunk ain't the only one. In fact, there are some very well-known examples of isolangs. I should say, actually, before we get into this, I should talk a little bit about Codegolf. Because Codegolf is a concept that is used in quite a lot of these types of things. And the gist of it, basically, is that you're trying to do something in the shortest amount of code possible. Like, tiniest, like, most minimal application. Like, there are people who have done, like, wild things with this type of stuff. And an example of this is that there is, of course, an entire language purely dedicated to doing Codegolf. Purely dedicated to doing Codegolf. I think I have the Brainfunk thingy by the end of the stream. Where should I submit it to? That is an awesome question. If you drop it in LHD, share your hacks and tag me in there, and we will see what we can do. I will also say that anybody who happens to have solutions to this, I'm gonna, as I go through these languages, I am going to suggest that you try it out with each one and see how it goes. I heard Chess and again tag John, but actually I didn't hear what John asked for. Of course, I am asking for the phrase. If you are able to write a piece of Brainfunk or any of the other languages which I am looking for, we're going to be looking through in the course of this stream, and have it echo John loves LHD share, then you can drop it in the LHD share your hacks channel, and I will see if we can nab some fun things for y'all. If nothing else, the joy of being my favorite person for the day. That is a very coveted title, as anyone who knows me, I'm sure, will tell you. I'm absolutely sure Jack will tell you. Yep. Write something to output John loves LHD share in a funky language. Preferably a funky language that we're going to be looking at as part of this. Personally, my specific request in this instance is anything that happens to contain, if you're working with Arnold C, Shakesphere, Wallcode, if you really want to go wild, white space or malbolge, but definitely, preferentially, I am giving the benefit to Brainfunk, and we are going to be playing around definitely with Arnold C, and a couple of others a little later in. But yeah, turns out Codegolf, people write isolangs for it, because why have more characters when you cannot? So you create an entire language whose entire goal is to just print 1,000 digits of pi in like 16 characters, or have a single character whose entire job is to do like 50,000 things at once. Brainfunk versus Java. If anybody here has an active production Brainfunk deployment, please do tell me about it, because I would love to see that. Absolutely love. So, we've gone through the Codegolf. We have done a general introduction to Brainfunk. I would like to finally do a quick rundown of a few different examples of different languages. So I would say, arguably, things like Brainfunk and things like malbolge, which is, as I'm sure some of you are aware, literally a level of hell, I would consider those to be unusable languages. They're very challenging. They're very minimalistic. And some of them, like malbolds, just love to self-alter themselves, which, as you can imagine, your code is bad enough when you're debugging it. Imagine how bad it gets when it's changing itself while you're debugging it. Not a good time. Very much not a good time. The more fun parts of it, I would say, are actually some of these languages that are a bit more artistic. And I found one which I absolutely love, and I would very much like to show to you. Because I don't know about the rest of y'all. Can we get credit for making an interpreter in Brainfunk? Interpreter for what? That's the real question here. But, all right, chat, it is time. Are y'all familiar with the famous, the amazing, the Google Chrome dinosaur game that happens when your internet dies, and then you're kind of stuck having to play the dinosaur game until the internet comes back? I'm sure that a number of y'all are familiar with this. But, this is the real question. How would you like that to be a programming language? Worry no longer. I introduce you to Cactusi. This is... When I found this, I legitimately did not think that anything could be cooler than this. But frankly, I think I'm probably correct. This is a programming language entirely designed to look like a liner cactus. Based on where the cactus, spikes are, is how it parses it. Which is absolutely wild to me. All code has to start with 4 underscores and has to end with 4 underscores. As it literally has nothing but ones, zeros, and a print function. It's all written in binary. It can't be more than 3 characters high. It can't be more than 3 characters long either. You would think, right? Cacti in a 9-character block. No, this is too simple. This is too easy for your feeble minds to comprehend. No, it's 7. Yeah, it's really wild. As you can see here, it only reads the top 2 lines of the cactus. This is just here for views. And then you have the bit underneath. I will try and develop my own language. Absolutely. 100%. If anyone comes up with their own language out of this, that is A-okay with me. I am more than happy with that. That is just data representation? Is any language anything other than data representation? That's the real question here. That is the real question here. And surprisingly, this is, I believe, not in fact a not in fact a Turing complete language, because of the fact that it doesn't have an if statement. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. You could technically create a quine with it. Oh, we talked about quines. Let's talk about quines. So, a quine is a great thing. Quines are a program that prints out their own source code. And this is one of the fun things that you get with ESO langs, right? Is you get like Codegolf is like doing a thing in the smallest amount of space. Quines are having it print out what it is. And then you get things like obfuscation, which is like hiding the real meaning of it. Yeah, there's no abstraction above binary. This ain't, no variables, no conditional statements, there is only cactus. No fancy here, only cactus. But we will get away. We will get away, unfortunately, from the languages which are wild and weird, wild, and fun. Why are we learning about esoteric programming languages? Well, this is the Share a Unique Language block, and as such, we are sharing all kinds of unique languages today. As we should. How do I share my Brainfunk text? All right, drop it in the LHD Share Your Hacks channel on Discord. That's where the fun's going to go down. All right, so I have an even more fun thing for you. There is cow language. There is cow language? There is cow language. We will get to that. And now chat has decided that you are all cows. I see how it is. I see how it is. I would like, however, before we get to writing a little bit of Arnold C, to what can you take from this session? Go and have some fun with an ESO-lang. They're a heck of a time and quite a lot of fun for learning about the fundamentals of programming languages as well. I would, however, like to take a brief moment, a brief detour, if you will, to disappear off into the fun of the fact that, okay, so I need to compose myself for a moment. I have a very serious research paper for you. It's very important. It is highly specific. It is proving the Turing completeness of MS PowerPoint. This is legitimately one of the best things that I've ever seen. I'm dropping it in chat. If you go into this particular paper, you will find the link here, from which you can download a PowerPoint file, which you can run on your very own machine, and you get, if you have PowerPoint installed, a complete, fully functioning, tape-based Turing machine running in PowerPoint. Try it at home. I highly recommend it. It is a heck of a time. The way it works is you get basically a tape length. What's your video about? I didn't understand anything. It seems crazy. Okay, right. Awesome. Let's give this a quick explainer then, because this is definitely one of those things where I think people look at it and sort of go, "That's wild. How does that work?" Can it work for LibreOffice? I don't believe so, because this is based off of this is effectively based off of the way that auto shape and animation works within PowerPoint. So auto shapes basically allow you to use hyperlinking to jump between different slides within a PowerPoint, and then effectively jump between different areas, and use that effectively to create conditionals. So think of this like having a bunch of buttons in PowerPoint, and based on which conditionals you click, it turns certain buttons on or off. And then from that, it then interprets the way that it all fits together. The advantages of this are myriad. You can program it entirely using a GUI. Execution requires that you click every single step. So stepping through code is really easy. You don't even need a debugger. And PowerPoint files are not viewed as dangerous. So you can send your code to anyone and everyone. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is actually quite fun niche of this, because you can load PowerPoint files on PowerPoint for iOS, and Apple does not allow applications on the App Store that are able to run arbitrary code. Then PowerPoint is technically breaching the iOS App Store guidelines if you run that file in it. Fun fact. I mean, technically, like, no one's ever going to do that in reality, but hey, the specificity's there. So let's get I was about to say 2D chopper, but we are not quite going to be there yet. It is time for some Arnold C. PowerPoint isn't exactly the same though. I believe that file has actually been tested in PowerPoint for iOS. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, hey, if anybody does want to test it on PowerPoint for iOS, then I am more than happy for you to have a go. All right. Let's get ourselves a terminal. Like magic, it appears. And we are going to be writing ourselves a little bit of Arnold C, which is a programming language entirely built off of the one-liners of Arnold Schwarzenegger, governor of California. Very nice man, apparently. Has a lot of good stories about him online. So, let's head off into the fun of installing Arnold C. Please do feel free to follow along if you would like to. If you'd like to have a play around with it. I am dropping the link to the repository in chat now. So let us make ourselves a new Arnold C program. Is this a Tmux window? No, this is actually Zshell. This is Zshell running under iTerm on a Mac, with quite a lot of tweaks. I'll grant you. I also do not want to hear anything out of the Zshell. I do not want to hear anything out of the people in chat from the fact that I'm using Nano, because my NeoVim configuration is very, 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 very broken right now. Like, very broken. Can we drop the commands in Discord? Absolutely. I am going to drop this in. Let's take a look. LHD share chat. I'm also dropping it back in chat again. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to bob over and wget this jar off the internet safe. Yeah. This is directly from the person who wrote Arnold C. If you happen to be of the security variants and you like the idea of words. How do we install wget? Are you on a Linux machine or another alternative? Alternately, simply drop that URL in a browser and download the jar instead of using wget. Absolutely not necessary. If you're on a Mac, Homebrew is probably the best way to grab wget. Just drop a brew install wget in your command line. Or if you don't have Homebrew, go and install Homebrew, because it's a great time and we love it. But once you have the Arnold C jar, C jar, it's like a jar full of C. Yes. Also, for the record, I am seeing all of your Brainfunk submissions. If you brain frick, please drop them in LHD share your hacks on Discord, and we will get around to those at some point soon. Nobody saw that. It's fine. But let us get back to good old Arnold C. So we have our Arnold C jar. It is a jar of Arnold C. Where's the share your hacks? It's in the MLH community Discord server. If you are on there and checked in for local hack day share, you should be able to see the LHD share your hacks channel. All right, and now I need to. Good. I was about to think. I was wondering, do I still have Java installed? And really hoping that I had Java installed, because otherwise this was going to be a lot of fun. Awesome. Okay, so I don't think we're necessarily going to be able to get away from the language today, because apparently even the languages are swearing at me, which is just great. ArnoldC is written in Java. ArnoldC is written in Java. It's also open source. You can find the GitHub submission. It was submission. Way too many hackathons. You can find the GitHub. You can find the GitHub repository in the LHD Share Your Hacks channel, or in Twitch chat right now. If anybody happens to spot anybody else asking where they can find it, that is where you can find it. And with that, I am going to write us a little bit of ArnoldC. I would also say as well, if you have an interest in writing your own ESOLang, go and take a look at ArnoldC. It's not that. I think it's Scala instead of like straight Java, but it's a really great example of like writing a language parser and all of the fun that comes with that. That's actually if you all would ever happen to, if you all ever happen to want to do a session on well, writing your own programming language, or doing like interpreters or that sort of stuff, then do let us know, because I would very much like to play around with that at some point. And if there happens to be an interest, then it would be a heck of a time. Where can you find my customization with Zshell? My dot files aren't public. I can definitely look at making them public at some point, but for the moment they are very much my own and mine only. I'm very sorry. However, all of the things that are in them are open source. So if you do enough of a dig around in the Zshell corner, then you'll be able to find them. What's in Hello Arnold C? Awesome question. Nothing. We need to write some stuff in Hello Arnold C, because we need to tell Arnold hello and that we are proud of him. Maybe not that bit. But okay, so we need to start this with. We start this with the best thing of all. It's showtime. Then we end it with a "You have been terminated," and then you'll find the layout of this actually. If anyone's done BASIC before, then you will find it to be pretty similar. This is sort of the equivalent of our begin and end, styling for things. So we have our start and our ending, and now we need to do a little bit of a print statement, which is, of course, talk to the hand. Like so. And hopefully, I'm going to pop that in terminal so everyone can see what's popping if you are following along at home. This music is also included in ArnoldC. No, you can find this music on Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Ooh, it compiled. For a moment there, I had a moment there where I was sort of like, what is this gonna work? And it did. And I am happy with that. So, of course, this compiles into a Java program. And like that, congratulations, we have compiled and run something in our very first ESOLang. Please do let me know, if anyone following along at home, if you happen to have done so as well. Drop something in chat to let me know, because I would love to see how y'all are getting along as well. Imagine a programming language based on musical genres. Okay, we will get back to ArnoldC in just a brief moment, because I do actually have something for you specifically along those lines, Scarlet Rose. This is. Ooh, I need to find the right window now. Let's see if we can do a little bit of rejigging. Share screen. Heck yeah. Here we go. I introduce you. For all of our music fans out there, this is Velato. Velato is a beautiful language. Velato is a language entirely written using MIDI. So all of your programs come out as completely valid music. Like, you can write your programs as sheet music. It's beautiful. Like, genuinely, this to me is a great example, actually, of how programming languages and like software in general can actually be like a really beautiful piece of art. Like, stuff like this, right, is like this I think is one of the closest ways that you can get to like bringing computing and like technology and these types of things into the world of art, because that is genuinely neat. You can go using the Sonic Pi. Yes. I believe, I can't remember where I saw it. There was a hackathon recently that someone did a really, really great Sonic Pi workshop at, which is Sonic Pi. It's a Ruby based. Is it Ruby based? I think it's Ruby based. Yes, Ruby based. It's basically an entire programming language that makes music, which I think is awesome. And see, things that I have a soft spot for things like this stuff that like this, and not processing. There's someone in chat I'm sure will be able to remind me of this. There's a whole programming language whose entire like gist is basically a language for like visualizations, and doing like visual like programmatically generated visual like art installations and that sort of thing. No, it's not processing. It's another one. Wait, no, it is processing. Yes, yeah. Processing is an awesome piece of technology, which I highly recommend that you have a play around with. Entirely off the topic of ESO-Langs, but it is a really beautiful thing. And if anybody would like to go and check out Velato, you can find it here. It does require .NET to run it, so I don't necessarily know how well you'd end up being able to port it to other platforms, but I think the code is publicly available, so you should have a pretty good time dealing with that. And it is surprisingly powerful. It has like full-blown conditionals, math operations, procedurals, assignments and declarations. I love this. It has like the minus third is like constants, the minus sixth is variables. That's so cool. There are many modern languages that haven't gotten as far as having those as being two different things. Pre-ES6 JavaScript. Yeah. P5.js. Yep. Again, also an awesome piece for like creative code and visual learning, that corner of things. But yeah, let's go and take a look at. Let's go back to Arnold C for a brief moment, because I believe we still have a couple of things to finish. Twiggle his entire visualizations in one tweet. Wow. That's awesome. Like a single tweet's worth of... Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. Okay, I'm sorry. I have... Before we get back to Arnold C, I have to show you this, because this is actually marvelous. Here we go. Twiggle. Sorry, I love the fact that Twiggle Twitter is a thing. That's awesome. What I am looking at right now is this beautiful thing. Absolutely amazing. And this is, as far as I can tell, this is like an entire... Yeah, this is an entire app that builds shaders that fit within the size of a tweet. That's absolutely amazing. Yeah, and it even... Okay, I'm absolutely dropping that in the chat. That is absolutely awesome. If anybody happens to have like experience writing shaders, because that ain't my wheelhouse, but if you do and happen to come up with anything awesome with that, I would also love to see that, because Lordy, that's amazing. That is really genuinely cool. Okay, right. Let's head back to Arnold C land before we get too far off the topic. Because Lord knows, if anybody who knows me already knows that this is probably the most on topic that I've stayed within a stream at any point in the past like 3 weeks. Because as well as MLHD things, I also stream on my own Twitch channel over on Twitch TV/JFKingsley, usually doing a bunch more hardware stuff, but tangents are kind of the flavor of the day all the time. So this is probably about the this is about the best we're gonna get, relatively speaking. So Arnold C, it is time. Let's write ourselves an actual Arnold C thing. Oh God, I love it. You love to see it. We already have Arnold C submissions for it. All right. So let's see. Let's see what we can do with Arnold C. That was bad. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I need to share with you the information that I have just been given, which is that the return statement in Arnold C is "I'll be back." And method arguments are apparently defined as I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. This... I. Okay, let's try and do some basic... Let's try and do some basic arithmetic. Oh boy. Let's... Ooh, maybe if statements? Oh! Okay. I know what I'm going to do. Let's do some if statements. So... I am reading this documentation as I go, and it's kind of wild. So I think this is how this is supposed to work, because I'm going to say please A, which is like the opening of the if statement. Talk to the hand. A is true. So you can see here, right? Because I'm going to say please A is like the if A. So like if A exists, then so the conditionals in Arnold C are only executed if there's anything there. So basically we're saying, does A exist? If yes, then we're going to print A as true. If not, we are going to do an else statement. We are then going to print A is not true. And then we're going to end... We're going to end our if statement. And hopefully, if this compiles, I'm going to be amazed. Awesome. So it's failing because we don't have an A variable. So let's define a variable. Hey, Christmas tree A. You set us up at I lied. Okay. I feel like I'm having a moment here because this does not read like actual software. This is wild. Okay, so hey Christmas tree is what defines our variable. So we have now defined the variable A, and below it we say you set us up, which is how we set the variable definition. And the two options for that are I lied, which is 0, or no problemo, which is 1. I really hope that y'all are enjoying this, because this is causing me some level of physical pain. And I'm not sure which yet. All right, let's give this a go. Please compile, please compile. Yes. Okay. Okay, we're out of the woods. We're no longer battling with Arnold. I'm very glad. I'm sort of expecting him to kind of like appear out of the corner of my eye or something. Like I'm slightly concerned as to what's going on here. So, with a little bit of help, I'm using ArnoldC for programming interviews now. Honestly, if I've done a very small amount of interviewing in my past, but if someone walked into me with an ArnoldC code demo, I would give them. Okay, no, you tell me what job you want. I'm not even... No. Okay. It runs. It goddamn runs. I don't know what happened to you, but the madman did it! Okay. Back into the trenches. I also love the fact that this is a language entirely made up of sentences, and it has no indentation. Someone's English teacher is gonna smack them for this. How? How? And possibly why, but mostly how. You can indent it, but why? We've started off not indenting it. I don't intend to finish that way. It's good to know you can indent it though, but I feel like that kind of like ruins the point of a language entirely designed to be a complete and utter mess. In fact, here's some hell. If indents don't matter for this. If indents don't matter for this, then reverse indents definitely don't. This is too much power. Okay. Okay, we have discovered that it doesn't like tabs. Let me just quickly put this into Sublime Text and turn it into spaces and see whether it's happier like that. Convert indentation to spaces. Okay. You know what? In order to fix this, I'm going to have to make it worse. I'm actually going to have to make it worse. Oh my god, that works. So, this is going to be fun when I show you this, because what I have done here is hell. Pure, unadulterated hell with all of the trimmings. Like, proper hell, like Lil Nas X kind of hell. So, in order to make this compile, you kind of gotta indent only the ones that aren't the top and bottom. And then you can indent the rest of them in reverse. I don't know why. I don't know why. In fact, let me... In fact, okay. No, I take it back. I made it worse. Okay, cool. This is our new indentation format now. I'm calling this reverse offset indentation, and this is the new standard for both ISO Langs and Arnold C. And if I see any of you using anything other than this, then I will find you and I will remove your tab key. I'm not kidding. Okay. It is time. Does this compile? I hate this. I hate this so much. Let's run it. A's not true. Ain't true. To anyone in chat saying I'll just use my space key, that's the point. Spaces over tabs, people. I have my tab key bound to 4 spaces. I'm that kind of rebel. All right, drinks check. Hold up. Okay. Drinks check. We are popping ourselves the best soda. Absolutely the best soda. This is Pineapple Jarritos. It has so many E numbers in it that it might set the sky around it like yellow, but damn if it ain't good. The taste of fake pineapple just gets you where it hurts. I have a very soft spot for those because my favorite burrito joint, that was one of the few things that they sold as drinks, and oh boy, do I love it. Okay, so we've had it say it's not true. It's time to make it say it's true. It is time. Let's do a compilation. The taste of stimulated senses. Ah yes, other beverages are available. Was that enough of a moment for you all? Okay, let's see if this runs and gives us a true, and it does. Congratulations, we have implemented if statements in Arnold C. And it is time. I see no Red Bull? No. Round here we are not a Red Bull house. We are actually a different type of drinks house. We are a... Oh, that's a good question. Now, see, the thing is, I was about to say what it was, but I don't have any in at the moment, and I've forgotten completely what I call it. So I'm going to check my shopping list. I am in the UK, yes. What I am thinking of is Tenzing. Tenzing is an energy drink that actually is pretty much all natural. It's like green tea and that sort of stuff, and I pretty much exclusively use it because it's way better, and I am a gym nut, so I very much like to make sure that the things that I am ingesting are as good for me as possible. And Tenzing definitely gives you that that. I feel like I'm doing an ad read for them now. Definitely gives you a decent enough time for energy without giving you what I will describe as the Red Bull crash, which is that kind of period about 3 to 4 hours afterwards where your head starts to kind of go a little bit wild, and everything feels like it's kind of, yeah, speed feels like you're speeding through the time continuum. Yeah, you do get a little. I feel like every time I've been to the States, you'll have different Red Bull. Like, you'll have some Red Bull that is on, like, Doc Brown kind of, like, vibes. Like, it is wild. How it feels to use art. So that, okay, I feel like for anybody who is not in the UK, go and look up the 5 Gum advert. You may well have seen it already. It is, if you've ever heard the phrase, how it feels to chew 5 gum, that's where that comes from. It's very funny. How it feels to chew 5 gum. 5 gum. Speeding through the time continuum. Okay. Now that we're done with that corner, let's. Yes, I'm rapidly challenging Will, I think, for the ASMR crown. Although I do believe for anybody in Fellows, you may have gotten an email this morning informing you of the fact that Fellowship is now doing mandatory ASMR segments. I'm sure that it will be a heck of a time. Okay, let's take a look at some other things. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. Let's do some arithmetic. Am I drinking soda? Yes, I am drinking Jarritos Pineapple, which is the best Mexican soda. Can we do arithmetic stuff? Yeah, I was just about to. Yeah, let's do some arithmetic. So what we're going to try and do here is this. Like that. Pretty much. Give or take. So what I'm going to do is we're going to set A to the value of 4 plus B times 2. Seems fair enough. So let's redefine A, or call it let's call it val. And we'll set it to like 4. Can we do integrals and differentiation? I think so. We'll have to get hold on a minute. Like we're barely out of being able to figure out how a conditional works. Like there's only so many ways that you can skin this particular cat, as it were. Do not do that, by the way. That is a very bad thing. Oh, non-void or execute for return. Okay, how do you call a method? Oh my god. Oh my god. We might actually. Okay, right. If you all are very, very good and follow me through this segment while I implement the world's worst simplified mathematics, then I will show you a modulo function written in its own function called in Arnold C. Do you think we can do that? All right, let's go. So if we make it through this, then we'll do the big one. So let's go and take a look at this. Where is our... There we go. So we're going to set val for 4. We're going to get the value of A. Here is my invitation 4. See, so we're adding 4. Absolutely, this is the chaos I signed up for. Oh boy, you don't even know. The more I am absolutely certain of the fact that after this session, I am definitely going to be signed up for more live streams. So please do show up for those as well, because Lord knows the chaos is only going to get wilder from here on out. Which company will hire me for this language? I've absolutely no idea. Why don't you make one? I would honestly, if anyone is willing to make a company whose entire gist is just building production software and ESO langs, that would be amazing. How much more of this do we have? I have a full, like, 2 and a bit hours worth of content here. So we ain't even started yet, bucko. So here's my invitation 4. We're going to get up, which is how we add. So we're going to add those two together. We're going to times it with a you're fired. Someone would literally fund that. Yes. Yes. Get that Silicon Valley dollary-do and build something really fun with it. This is also your reminder. Before we get into the next section, you can see a lovely little hack pack link scrolling along the bottom of the screen. If you jump in there and check in, then you will get your obligatory local hack day share points. So I would highly recommend doing that. Hackpack/hack with John. Where did Alan Sugar come from? Let's not even get into that. You're fired. You'll love to see it. Okay. You're fired too, which times everything by 2, and then enough talk, I think, should... What does enough talk do? I think this does what I think it does. It says in the... So in the documentation, it says that it's... Yeah, that's like stack stuff, because you have to do that at the end of the... Yeah, because it's the end of the here's my invitation. Awesome. Okay, right. Oh, so that's declaration versus variable assignment. Okay. Let's try this. Variable B not declared. Fair enough, honestly. You know what? Yeah, you had me there. I can't believe I'm actually writing Arnold C that compiles. This is a dangerous day. This is not a skill that any one person should have. I fail to understand this, but I love it anyway. All right, it compiles. I hate that it compiles, but it compiles. Could we show that last bit again? Absolutely. We are looking specifically at this section here. I'm going to actually indent it a bit better because I like you and I want you to be able to read this code well. So the way that we're doing this, set up a value, set it to 4, set up a... Wait, why? We're not even using val. We need another talk to the hand. Yeah, we don't need val, do we? Because we set... Yeah, so we... Talk to the hand. I don't know if we need another talk to the hand yet. Oh yeah, we do to log it. For now, I just want to see if it even compiles. But yeah, basically we set up B with a value of 6. Define B, set it up with a value of 6. Now this makes sense as to why it says you set us up. Yeah. Get to the chopper, which starts a variable declaration block. Here is my invitation, which basically sets 4. Get up adds B to the 4 on the stack, and then you're fired divides that value by 2, and then enough talk ends that little block. So hopefully, if we run this, it shouldn't blow up. Great, awesome, you love to see it. And as was quite correctly pointed out to me, we are going to need a talk to the hand A. And with a little bit of luck, I have no idea if that's the right answer. That's a good point. Let's figure this out. Let's prove our hypothesis, as they say. So, what we should be getting here is 4 plus B, which is 6 times 2. Bang on the money. You love to see it. You really do love to see it. Does GitHub recognize this as a lang? That's an awesome question. I don't think so. Let's go and take a look. In fact, actually, here's a fun little thing. Let's take a brief tangent again, as this seems to be the way of things. Because I would very much like to tell you precisely how you can check whether GitHub actually recognizes a language or not. Because there's actually a surprisingly quick and easy way to do this. Because it turns out GitHub, in their lovely benevolence, we do love our GitHub. They actually have a project which is called the Language Savant. And that is how GitHub actually, when you go onto a GitHub repository and it tells you which languages are in it, that's how GitHub does it. And it's open source. So you can not only go and look at all of the languages that GitHub supports, you can implement it in your own projects if you're using Ruby or something that you can use to kind of link Ruby in and like pass in a code file and have it tell you what type of language it is. And you can also, like a lot of people do, you can submit pull requests and add support for languages. In fact, speaking of ESOLangs, here is a pull request to add Befunge. Let's take a look. And it looks like it's like pretty commonly active, and there's like even samples of it and some heuristics matching for things. Which is kind of awesome. But yeah, if you do happen to decide that you want to add a language to GitHub, if you write a language, want to add it to GitHub, drop a pull request on Linguist. and you can absolutely do that. And yeah, it is also genuinely a really, really cool library for, like, if you happen to want to know what a language is, you can just figure that out. But all of the heuristics are magically done for you, which is just marvelous. What program am I using for Arnold C? So if you head over to github.com/ it's a whole bunch of things. I've dropped it in chat. You can get it from there. If you jump over there, there is a little exam. There's a quick start just slightly further down the page to a jar file, and that is what you can use to run Arnold C programs. It's a heck of a time. Just taking these kind of brief moments to sort of vibe with the lo-fi. I feel like it's just one of those kind of days, you know? Sun shining, birds cheeping. We have our soda, other brands are available. It's just a vibe. All right, back to Arnold land. The land of the Arnolds. That actually sounds horrifying. Can you imagine that? Just like Jurassic World, but it's all just Arnold Schwarzenegger. No comment. Yeah, in retrospect, really don't want to do that. Really don't want to do that. Okay, so actually, I just realized I have not shown you the awful yet. I must show you the awful. More specifically, I must show you. I must show you what I promised, which is declaring a modulo function. Will be any special checking code for this? If you head to hackp.ac/hackwithjohn, you can check in right there. I want to make it equivalent uses MLH names instead of Arnold quotes. Do it. Absolutely do it. Just fork the project right now. Do the thing. What's my Twitch channel? You can find me at twitch.tv/JFKingsley. Same as my name. I am also on Twitter under the exact same handle. It is a wonderful time. In fact, let me see if I can add it to the stream. Oh, hell yeah. You see that? There's the handle. How do you compile it to a jar? Gotta log off. See you, Scarlet Rose. Hopefully you had fun. We'll see you around on the next one. How do you compile it to a jar? As in, how do you compile the Arnold C to a jar? If that is in fact the question, then it is you literally call java-jar arnoldc.jar hello Arnold C, like this, and then you get a class file. If you would like to compile, I see. Do you want to? You're trying to put the class file in a jar. You're fired. Oh, how do you compile the source code for it? Great question. It has a build.sbt file in there, so I would assume that... Let's take a look. Where's that from? Scala build file. There you go. So, with a little bit of luck, you should be able to use SBT, the Scala build tool, to compile it. But yeah, given that this does spit out valid Java classes, you could technically also take your Arnold C programs and convert them into valid Java jars, which... Don't know why you'd want to, but hey, the option's on the table. There's only so many things that you can do around these parts. Okay. I said I was going to do it. I said I was going to do it, and unfortunately, as they say, we have to do it to them. Let's smack it in and talk about a very, very, very long block of Arnold C code. I don't even know how I'm going to read this. Actually, let's start with something a bit simpler. I know this doesn't look simpler. I know this doesn't look simpler. Code Minecraft in Arnold C. Enough talk. So, what this does is loops through the numbers 1 through 10, squares them, and then prints them out again. Let's give it a compilio, shall we? Looks good. Yeah, I'll take that. You know, that definitely gets the trick done. But that ain't what we're here for. Just chill. Enough talk. I'm not chilling. I have zero chill today. It's time for the modulo. This thing's chunky. This thing's real chunky. This is also, interestingly enough, an example of defining a separate function. As you can see here, you start your functions with "listen to me very carefully," and then you end them off with "hasta la vista, baby." It's a wild time. And then you call them with "do it now." What? Hang on, hold up. I need to know what "get your ass to Mars" does, which is not a phrase I ever thought I'd say on a live stream. But hey, here we are. Here we are. Assign variable for method call. Wow. That's hilarious. So that's like, so it calls like this and then stores it to result 4. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. All right. All right. We're going to finish this by running first the modulo. Yeah, pretty much A equals method. And finally, do you want to know? Do you want to know where we're going to end this? Do you want to know where we're going to end our marvelous Arnold C adventure? We're going to end it. We're going to end it on a good old-fashioned classic. Good old-fashioned classic of the only give people things. Yes, yeah. There's YouTube vids for all of the lines in this, which is great. We're going to finish this though off on an old-fashioned classic. Fizzbuzz in Arnold C. It's gonna be real. Let us start our journey. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, we're doing this. As they say, it's showtime. Okay. Hey, Christmas tree. Let's. Yeah, sure. Okay. So we want that as a 0. We're going to define a new variable for our loop. Oh, I should also say, Variables in this are all 16-bit integers. So you can define them to be ints like this. Multiple. And also, no problemo. That is it's a macro for 0, basically. And so this is how you write loops. So you have stick around, and then stick around and chill. Okay. So we're going to pull that back. Jump it up by 1. So that's basically every loop. We're going to iterate that n variable up by 1, which I imagine for most of you all who've written loops and things in the past is pretty obvious. And then I've realized I should probably just put my caps lock on for this. Cool. Also, just let off some steam, Bennett. What that does is that's basically the greater than. So I'm checking whether it's greater than 100, and then if it's greater than 100, then we break out of the loop, basically. Oh boy, so now we need to assign, okay, do it now is for that. I realize I'm kind of basically talking through my method at the moment. Do it now is how you call a function. So I'm going to call do it now on divisible. And we'll write that as a function in a minute. And we're going to check if n is divisible by 15. Because I'm going to say please multiple, which is basically well, that's how you do if statements. Which I think we covered a little bit earlier. Yeah, we definitely did. So this is going to be our fizz buzz. Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish writing this function up, and then I'll. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it side by side with an actual FizzBuzz example, and we can talk about how this tracks. So you're going to see quite soon where I'm kind of going with this. So this is our buzz. Then we need to print out any numbers if it doesn't match. Close our if statement. And close our other if statement. And then finally close our final if statement. Now, for the purposes of time, I have pre-written the I have pre-written the modulo and divisible functions here, but we'll run through those in a moment. Ooh, did I forget fizz? That actually wouldn't surprise me. Yep, that's bang on the money. In fact, this should be fizz. Okay, I think that will do it. Okay, so I wrote a lot of things there, and I'm not quite sure what happened, but it compiled like fine. Did I do 5 twice? 15. Ah, yeah, I did. That needs to be 3. Good catch. Okay. So, let's do a brief walkthrough of the hellscape that we have just wrought upon us. So, it's showtime. We set up a variable called is less than 100. Set up a variable called n. Set up a variable called multiple. In fact, no, I'm not going to write it out in a different language. That makes it even more complicated. Basically, we have 3 booleans here, right? What we're then going to do is we're going to keep looping while one of those booleans is less than 100, the n, and while it's less than 100, we keep iterating up by 1 until it gets to 100, right? So it's basically a for loop, and then we just keep on doing things unless it's 100. Break out if it's over 100, basically. Then we go through a loop on the multiple for n. We check whether it is divisible by 15, and if it is, then we break into the standard fizzbuzz loop where we basically check whether it's divisible by 3 or divisible by 5 and do fizz or buzz respectively, and then close all of our loops out. The modulo function is wild and hilarious. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle is how you define variables. This basically just does some standard modulo math, and the divisible one at the bottom basically uses that to then check divisibility, but does its own thing for divisibility. But yeah, so with a little bit of luck and a dash of pixie dust, I'm pretty sure that's done it. I'm like pretty sure that's done it. Let's take a quick look at some fizzbuzz example output. 1, 2 fizz, 4 buzz fizz, 7, 8 fizz buzz, 11 fizz, 13, 14 fizz buzz, 16, 17 fizz. Awesome. Awesome. That's a bang on correct implementation. That's awesome. So we have what is probably the most common probably the most common thing when it comes to programming languages, implemented in probably the most wild language that you can come across. I didn't compile. Well, hope. If nothing else, I have found that ArnoldC tends to have particularly good error messages. So I imagine you'll be pretty good at this. I would also, I will say, I would be remiss. I would be remiss if we did not take a look at a language that all of you seemed very, very, very interested in at the beginning of this. Cow. Is cow. These are cowmans. There's literally like 12 different versions of the word moo. One of them's called which I don't think a cow can do. I'm just saying. I also hate the fact that the Hello World example literally makes my eyes kind of go weird. I am... Aye. That is an absolute look. But at least it can generate the Fibonacci series. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's kind of all any of us can hope for. What is this? This is moo. This is a language built by cows for cows. It contains 12 different variants of the word moo. And why wouldn't you want this, frankly? This feels like the this is like the pinnacle of this is the pinnacle of human achievement, I would say. Actually, no, I take that back. This is the pinnacle of human achievement. This right here is called Shakesphere. And some of y'all may have seen this on the event description, actually, because that was kind of the first one that came to mind when I was thinking about ESO Lang. So I was like, what should we do? Let's do this one. This is a language in which you have to write everything in the form of a Shakesperian script. So the real question here is whether you would like a dramatic reading of Hello World in Shakespeare. Because, frankly, I feel like you deserve no less from the joys of local hack day. Imagine making a language using variations of the word Hello World. Yeah. Only down from here? Oh, no. No, you don't even know. It gets infinitely worse from here. All right. It looks like we're going in for a dramatic reading. The infamous Hello World program. Romeo, a young man of remarkable patience. Juliet, a likewise young woman of remarkable grace. Ophelia, a remarkable woman, much in dispute with Hamlet. And Hamlet, the flatterer of Anderson insulting. Act 1. Hamlet's insults and flattery. Scene 1. The insulting of Romeo. Enter Hamlet and Romeo. You lying, stupid, fatherless, big, smelly, half-witted coward! You are as stupid as the difference between a handsome, rich, brave hero and thyself. Speak your mind. You are as brave as the sum of your stuffed, misused, dusty, old, rotten codpiece, and a beautiful, fair, warm, peaceful, sunny summer's day. You're as healthy as the difference between the sum of the sweetest, reddest rose and my father and yourself. Speak your mind. Speak your mind! Scene 2. The praising of Juliet. Thou art as sweet as the sum of Romeo and his horse and his black cat. Speak thy mind. Exit Juliet. Scene 3. The praising of Ophelia. Enter Romeo and Juliet. Romeo, speak your mind. You're as worried as the sum of yourself and the difference between my small, smooth... I'm sorry, I understood those words as I was reading them. Give me one moment. Okay, we are all professionals here. You are as worried as the sum of yourself and the difference between my small, smooth hamster. I'm sorry. I could not. Oh my god. You are the difference between my small, smooth hamster and my nose. This is an actual programming language, people. Speak your mind. You are as bad as Hamlet. You are as small as the difference between the square of the difference between my little pony. Between my little pony and the cube of your sorry little codpiece, speak your mind. Exit, Romeo. I really wish he would. Enter Ophelia. Juliet, thou art as good as the quotient between Romeo and the sum of a small furry animal and a leech. I am deeply concerned. This is something that, just as an aside, for a brief moment, just, okay, this is something that someone wrote with their own human brain and put it into the world. They took it out of this and they put it into the universe. Why? Why would you do this? Because I really want to know. I have questions now, and none of them are good. None of them are good. Let's finish this. Maybe if you're really, really, really good, then we'll do the primes one at some point next time, but oh my god, no. Scene 3. Juliet and Ophelia's conversation. You know what? I'm really gonna get into this now. Okay. Thou art as good as the quotient between Romeo and the sum of a small furry animal and a leech. Speak your mind. Thou art as disgusting as the quotient between Romeo and twice the difference between a mistletoe and an oozing infected blister. Speak your mind. Excellent. Not gonna lie. I feel like we kind of lost something of our own souls there. In a sort of like, yeah. There's only so many ways that you can describe something like that. That was, I feel like I need the mental equivalent of like, it was Shakespeare. That was Shakespeare. Was it Shakespeare? It was Shakespeare. I mean, just be glad that we didn't get into the next file in this particular joyous escapade, which starts with the phrase prime number computation in Copenhagen, which is either the name of the world's most boring conference or am I okay? Are any of us ever really okay? Especially after having to read the phrase small, smooth hamster? I ask you. I beseech this to the crowd. Is any of us truly okay after having to read the phrase small, smooth hamster and my nose? This is a programming language. This This is a programming language. And like that joyous escapade, we disappear yet again into the breach. Ooh, actually, reversed. Okay, that's a short one. If we get to the end of this next segment that I'm about to do, then I will do a dramatic reading of Reverse.Shakesphere. I will put myself through this intense mental anguish for you, my favorite hackers. And you are my favorite hackers because you are here talking about the world's worst programming languages with me. And frankly, I cannot think of anything better that you could be doing on a Thursday evening or afternoon or morning, depending on where you are and how you choose to spend your time. Let's finish this off by taking a look at three. Let's do a quick fire round. It is time. All right. Number one, Piet. I know a lot of people are bringing this up. It's a language entirely designed to look like abstract paintings. It's wild. It honestly, is it bad? Is it bad that I feel like these kind of look like Minecraft paintings? Like I know that shouldn't be the case, but like tell me this doesn't look like the kind of thing that you would find on like someone's banner on like a PvP server. There is absolutely no way that is not the kind of thing that you would find in like the only way this could be more Minecrafty is if it had like a weird skull thing in it that no one understands and has any idea why it's there at all. There's a brain flip interpreter in Piet. Yeah. Blahouse Gang has a Minecraft server. Shoot me the IP and I will join it and bring a Minecon cape. That's how old I am. That dates me right there. Yeah. I'm sorry, what? Did you see what I just saw? Because I am pretty sure that I just scrolled down and saw gnome. I hate this so much. There's something deeply unsettling about knowing that this gnome is a program. And that means that potentially at some point it could and will break out and come and find you. I'm waiting for it to start blinking and declare sentience is basically what's going on here. Like, I'm very concerned. Don't blink. Whatever you do, whatever happens, don't blink. Okay, we're done with the gnome now. There's a rock paper scissors implementation. That's awesome. And someone wrote a Rock 13 encoder. That's really cool. And then built it in Lego. Oh no, that's a painting. Oh, awesome. Oh, actually, I like that. For anyone who actually has an interest in playing around with quiny things, so not quiny things. I'm reading quine, and immediately my head goes quine. If you happen to have an interest in this, hey, maybe build some Piet in Legos. That's a thing you can do pretty easily. Like there are like things here that aren't like massively complicated in terms of the number of colors. That should be a pretty chill time. So we've covered Piet. Let's take a look at Rockstar. It's time for a bit of a Rockstar language. Bit of 1980s hard rock and power ballads, yeah. But this particular language. It gives you the ability to actually put a sticker on your laptop saying that you're a Rockstar developer and mean it. But also means that all of your programs read like rock and act like rock and rock like rock. Let's take a look at some examples. Oh, here's Fizzbuzz again. Midnight takes your heart and soul. I'm sorry. I was not. Well, I'm looking at this one completely blind, and the pure songwriting ability of Midnight takes your heart and soul while your heart is as high as your soul just blows my mind. Put your heart without your soul into your heart. This is, I mean, Freddie Mercury, eat your heart out. We ain't beating that. I'm sorry. This is the pinnacle of like songwriting ability. There's no way we're getting past that. If Midnight taking my world hate is nothing, say buzz! Also, I feel like take it to the top has the same energy as like kick it to the curb. You could write a Justin Timberlake song as a programming language. I'm sure of it. I'm absolutely sure of it. And finally, the last language of the evening, the one that I know a lot of you have been waiting for, Wallcode. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. My favorite part of this is that it has an actual formal specification with versioning. That means this language has more of a formal language spec than Swift did when it first released. Think about that for a moment. The world's most expensive company had less of a language spec on a new language when they released it than Wallcode does. You know, just consider that. Consider the fact that apparently the Wallcode developers care more about specification validation. And yeah, maybe, who knows, consider basing your next multi-billion-dollar hardware company on Wallcode. Feels like a good plan. Let's take a look at some examples. It even versions it in the code. Oh my god. Why? In fact, actually, I'm sure we can get around to Wallcode at some further point. Can I try Wallcode for my college project? Do it. Absolutely do it. That's awesome. Let's take a look at some Wallcode examples, because I don't think I quite have enough time to try it out on stream, unfortunately, because right up after this, we are gonna have the joyous fun time of, oh god, you love to see it when somehow I had everything prepared and yet nothing. It's so good. Apple now always a bit Lolcode. Yeah, you love to see it when Lolcode literally beats out the largest companies in the world in terms of documentation. That is just, yeah, that's the good stuff. That's the really good stuff. Yeah, straight up after this, we have actually no, we have a little bit of time. We have a little bit of time. Yeah. Okay. All right. We might actually be able to do this. I just need to figure out precisely how long over I can run. Nope. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to have to finish on time because we have Bob Ross coming up about 15 minutes after this. But we'll take a quick look at a few Lolcode examples. And then I will finish this with the dramatic reading of the final Shakespeare thing because, oh my god, you people clearly like to see me in pain. Hi, how is I power to your Sorry, I think I just threw up a little in my mouth. Wow. Oh, this is the raw XD of languages. This is some like top tier. Like this is ICANN has cheeseburger as a language. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Let's finish this with reverse.spl. It's what you've all been waiting for. Outputting input reversedly. Othello, a stacky man. Lady Macbeth, who pushes him around until he pops. Act 1, the one and only. Scene 1. In the beginning, there was nothing. Nothing. Enter Othello and Lady Macbeth. Othello, you are nothing. Scene 2, pushing to the very end. Lady Macbeth, open your mind. Remember yourself. Othello, you're as hard as the sum of yourself and a stone wall. Am I as horrid as a flirt gill? Lady Macbeth, if not, let us return to scene 2. Recall your imminent death. Scene 2, pushing to the very end. No, I'm not going to. I am not going to recurse the script. I refuse to denigrate myself to that level. If I wasn't about to wrap up in 2 minutes, Emily, I would absolutely pull you in on this. But unfortunately, I have to give the people what they want. Scene 3, once you pop, you can't stop, which honestly sounds like a Hairspray lyric. I mean, Lady Macbeth, recall your unhappy childhood. Speak your mind. Othello, you're as vile as the sum of yourself and a toad. Are you better than nothing? Lady Macbeth, if so, let us return to scene 3. Scene 4. The end. And on that joyous note, I hope that you have all very much enjoyed this rather unusual, weird, wild, wacky foray through a whole array of esoteric programming languages, unique languages, things that might be all flavors of unusual. And I hope that you happen to find some interesting things that you might want to take a look at. Maybe roll something out in an esoteric language yourself. Have a play around with one. Maybe even write one yourself. If you want to find any more of these types of weird, wild, fun shindigs, you can find me on all the places that matter, including Twitch and Twitter over here. And otherwise, I am going to let you all get on in about 50 minutes time for the joyous fun of Bob Ross with Fazia. Thank you all very much. Catch you in a bit.